Hello folks, it's Michael Mortensen from Livable City Planning, here with one of our Livable City shorts. And today the topic is transactional planning in Vancouver's downtown, and a story about the connection between kind of an upper end condo building and social housing. So here we are at 788 Richard Street in the downtown core. And this is a story, as I said, about transactional planning and public benefits that often go hidden after a project's delivered. You know, the public often asks, well, what's the benefit of this development? And very often developments yield enormous public benefits. And then once the project is done, the signs come down, people very often forget what was exchanged. So this is a story about an exchange in the downtown core. And the exchange is additional height and density in return for public benefits. That's enabled by Vancouver's discretionary planning system. We have a downtown official development plan that sets development maximums for the downtown, but then it also allows people who have ideas about creating new public benefits to bring them forward and has a system for granting additional height and density in return for public benefits. So behind me is the condo and hotel portion of the development. It's about a 30-story high-rise building with a podium that contains, importantly, a grocery store, which is super essential for bringing life back to the downtown. In this period of time, through the early 2000s, when this was being developed, Vancouver's downtown doubled in population. So in addition to that, we've got cafes, we've got a Winners, kind of large format retail on a second level. So it's a very interesting building. It was designed developed by Millennium Development, and I believe the architect was GBL. And what they did in building this, they created some social housing, which we'll go walk over and see now. There were, I think originally on the site, there were 43 single resident occupancy hotel units. And this is the SRO housing that housed a lot of people in the downtown, usually single men working in the resource industry. And that SRO was uninhabitable, it was leaking, and it came down as a result of this development. But what replaced it were 46 self-contained units, studio units with their own bathroom and their own kitchens, which is a huge improvement over the SRO. So the SRO, you can see, is a little addition to the building. It's part of the building, but it is contained legally within an airspace parcel. And all of the folks in here have their own kitchens, their own bathrooms, and it has a small parking facility as well underground. So what we'll do is walk down to the corner, and I'll tell you the story kind of as we walk about how this all transpired. So basically in 2002, 2003, the city put this lot on the corner up for sale. And the winning bid was from Millennium Development. And they bid a shocking price at the time, which was $100 a square foot buildable. And everyone in the industry, thought, wow, that's crazy. Land in Vancouver has gone to $100 a square foot, which is pretty funny today when you think about land prices. But the city essentially set a record in selling this lot. And Millennium Development assembled a little 25-foot piece just at the back where the Paslin Hotel was. At the time, there was a bylaw that allowed you to demolish the SRO rooms for $5,000 a door. But this was becoming a problem because there were too many demolitions. And in this case, the developer got caught with a new bylaw that came into force after he bought the land. This is one of the risks of development, is that sometimes the rules change midway. So we sat down, the director of planning and I, and Sharon Malik, the developer, sat down and come on this way, and talked about how we would resolve it. And essentially the deal was Director of Planning, Larry Beasley at the time, he asked Sharon, he said, well, if you could replace the 43 SRO units with at least as many fully self-contained apartments, what would it take? And Sharon literally sat down at a desk with a piece of paper in the meeting and did a bit of math and figured out, if you could give me 10 extra floors on the tower up there, I could afford to build you and turn over the keys to 43 units of self-contained housing units for people living on very, very, very low income. I mean, we're talking about welfare shelter rates, and essentially build that for the city at no cost, and at the end of the project would hand over the keys to the city. So that was the agreement. It went through some urban design work, because of course you have to really think about how that fits on the site, some thoughtful design on the part of the architect, and at the end of the day it was approved by the Development Permit Board and by Council. So what we have today is a project that delivers year after year super affordable housing at no cost to the taxpayer.